So hey guys, what's up? And a few days ago, I did a workshop on password cracking. A lot of people have reached out to me since then, and they wanted me to do a summary recorded training for password cracking. Okay, so this is a recorded training that I am actually filming right now. Keep in mind that I won't keep this recording up forever because a lot of people have actually taken the time out of their day to attend the live workshops, right? So while it's there, just make sure you watch this training, take some notes, and make the best use out of it. Okay. Now, see the topics that were covered in the workshop were basics of password cracking, how passwords get compromised, password salts, dictionary attack, tools that are used when it comes to password. Also, by the way, if you watch this recording till the end, I'll make sure that you get access to all of the tools. Okay, and also like how to get infinite chances to crack any password, right, without being limited to a few turns. Okay, and then we talk about cracking speed, how to avoid getting brute forced. So all of these topics were covered. For all of you that actually attended the workshop and know who I am, but a few of them may be new to this page. So for you guys, just I'm the face behind the Instagram page cybersecurity tutor, and you can see some of the stats here. I've mentioned it very clearly. Okay, and let's straight away get into the content, right? Let's not waste any time. So what exactly is password cracking? So password cracking is the process of recovering passwords from stored databases. Okay. Ethical hackers, we all use password cracking techniques all the time, right? You might be a web pen tester, you might also be a beginner. All of these, you could be good with malwares, working with malwares, you could work with pretty much anything, right? Doesn't really matter, we all use password cracking at some point of time, right? And also, look, I'm going to show you some real life case studies as well. See, if you look at it, right, in 2013-14, over 3 billion accounts were compromised due to weak password storage, right? So nowadays, if you think about it, right, every website, you have some sort of username, right, and password that you can, like, you have a username and you have a password, right, to log in, right? Most websites today, in today's time, if you look at Instagram, Facebook, or any of these famous websites, they all have some sort of login where you can input your username and password, right? So all of this password is stored in their database, right? And these databases can be, if leaked, you know will lead to a breach. And most of us, because it's very difficult for us to remember passwords on like different websites, and we keep the same username and passwords for pretty much every website out there. Okay, so in 2012, LinkedIn had about 6.5 million passwords leaked. Later on, they found out that it was like 165 million. Okay, in 2009, Rock like 32 million plain text passwords were like leaked. So if you go on GitHub, like, you can go on GitHub and you can get these like databases, like especially RockU is available. All right, so you can just type on Google that I want RockU password databases, and you will see that a lot of people, human beings think alike, so a lot of people use similar passwords all the time. Okay, next, how actually passwords do get compromised. Okay, there are like three ways. One is weak passwords, second is social engineering attack, leak databases. I've already showed you how databases can be leaked, right? So let's say there's a website, right, for example Instagram. They have a database of a few million, right? Last time I checked, it was probably like a few million accounts that Instagram had, and all of this is stored in the form of database, right, on their website. So if this gets stolen, I'll show you later on how this database gets stolen. It's because of a few vulnerabilities on the website, right? If this gets stolen, a lot of passwords can get compromised. Second is weak passwords. A lot of us have very weak passwords like 1 2 3 4, A B C D and things like that. But nowadays we have this criteria where we need to have capital letter. If you've created passwords, they've asked you to keep it more than 12 characters long. But yet most of us, right, we use either our date of birth, name, pet's name, or something like that to create a password, because it's very easy to remember. That's the reason why most people's passwords are weak, right? Lastly, we have social engineering attacks where we can get a link that is sent directly to your SMS or email, right, where you say that okay, somebody's password is, or like, please verify your account, and this can be termed commonly as phishing attacks. Okay, so these are a few ways in which your passwords can get compromised. Now coming to the next part of it, password salts. Okay, so what happens is that in order to prevent, like, the databases, see, one is you can either prevent the database being stolen, or you can do something called as password salts, right? So what password salts does is that, let's say your Instagram password is ABC, right, and instead of storing it directly on a database, they add a string, right, an extra string that is added to the end of the password, right, before storing it on any database. So what happens is that, like you said, there's a password, they've added it as a salt, and then they hash it. Hashing is basically a mathematical algorithm, that, or mathematical function that is being used to transform the existing password into something new, right? It's a one-way hash. One-way hash is where you cannot really reverse it. This might sound a little complicated, but you know what, like, if you want to learn more about hashing, you can go on Google and check, right? There are a lot of good articles on how hashing actually works. So they add a password salt, and they finally store the hash plus the salt, right? So whenever somebody steals the database, they'll get this, right? And it's pretty much impossible to figure out, looking at this, what the original password was, right? So that is how they keep your password safe. Okay, so if you look at the formula for a password salt, this is password plus a random word. Okay, it's called a password salt in total. Okay, and this prevents even if the database is stolen. Okay, and adding something at the end of the password makes it harder to crack, because now the password becomes longer. Like, longer the password, harder to crack, right? The difficulty goes up because it takes more time. Like, if your password is just 2 digit, you might have to try 11121314, and in between one of this you will find, right? But if the password is like 7 digit, 1 2 3 4, the combination, permutation and combination increases. Okay, next we have something called as dictionary attack. Okay, so dictionary attack is a method of cracking passwords, systematically using common password variations and pre-compiled list. So like, if I mentioned it, I showed you that RockQ is a database that has a lot of common passwords that people have used, and because of human psychology, right, a lot of people will repeat the similar type of passwords, and that is why these dictionary attacks are very effective. So like, there's a dictionary of common words and phrases, right? Most of us use some sort of English word itself, right? So that can also become your dictionary, right? And of course, like, cracking passwords is very easy, because you can always have an automated system where the system tries all sorts of combinations, for you. The hacker steals the sensitivity. This is the last stage once you actually get the password. Okay, we also have 2FA, two-factor authentication, to avoid these dictionary attacks, which means that even if the person finds the password, he needs some sort of OTP. There's a way to bypass this as well. Bypassing OTP is not extremely hard. Now we look at a few tools that are used for password cracking. One is something called as Hashcat. Second is John the Ripper. Third is Hydra. So there are multiple other tools. Okay, so if you have installed Kali Linux operating system, if you have installed Kali Linux by any chance, then you will see that all of these tools come pre-installed. For those of you who don't know what Kali Linux is an operating system used by hackers. OS for hackers, I'm going to write it here, is Kali Linux. Okay, you can just go on Google and you can try to check the names of these. You can take a screenshot and you can try to check the names of these. I'm sure you'll find all of these tools. Now, how to get infinite chances to actually crack any password. So what happens is that normally when we try to have too many attempts, so if you have 5 to 6 attempts usually, you will be locked after that, which means that you're no longer allowed to add more attempts. So this actually slows down the process. But normally when we want to brute force, you want to try like millions of combinations. So the way to do it is we use either proxies or we use Tor browser. Both work on the same principle. So what they do is, proxies can change their IP address. So let's say you have 15 proxies, right? So this is proxy 1, proxy 2, proxy 3, and so on. So what it does is that initially it uses proxy 1, which gives it a certain IP. It tries 2 attempts, okay, and then it tries proxy 2, it tries another 2 attempts, tries proxy 3, another. Keep in mind 5 is the limit, let's say 5 is the limit. After going all the way to 15, right, it comes all the way back to proxy 1, right. That is how you can have infinite attempts, using by continuously changing your IP address, because then from a single IP you have limited turns. Okay, so that is the vulnerability that we actually exploit. Now, for cracking speed, right, we can have password cracking systems that tries millions of passwords every few minutes. Okay, the way we do it is called we do it using something called as RDP. RDP stands for remote desktop protocol. And remote desktop protocol, it's like a computer that is running 24/7, 24/7 somewhere remotely, and it has an insane speed, right. You can also get 500 MB per second RDPs. You can get way more than that as well, depending on what your requirements are. And since it's running 24/7, it never shuts down. You can log out of an RDP, but the RDP keeps running. Okay, and these are devices that are used for password cracking. And what happens is that usually they let the word list, you have a huge word list with maybe 32 million passwords. You let it try all of the combinations, okay, against a particular username, and you let it run on the RDP on automation using certain tools. So like these certain tools can be John the Ripper or anything. I use a few private tools as well, so just stay in the video till the very end if you want to know more about that. Okay, next thing is, how do you avoid getting brute forced? So a lot of people say that the best way to avoid getting brute force is having a longer password. Of course, having longer passwords help, right. A 12 digit password is significantly harder to crack than 11 digit. So even adding one digit makes the password very hard, and using things like small letter, capital letter, uh, special characters, and all of these things, they make it equally hard for people to crack your password. But what happens is that normally when we use all of these things, right, it's very very hard for anybody to actually, what do you say, remember these passwords. So we use a concept called paraphrases. So in paraphrases, what we do is that we use sentences to create passwords, and these sentences are very easy to remember. For example, I have a sentence: I like playing soccer 12 hash, right. This password is very long, but it's equally easy to remember, right. So these are the type of passwords we use in concepts called paraphrases, where you have a long password, but it's very very easy to remember, but it has all of the special symbols, characters, and all of that, right. So you can go online, you can try to come up with a few paraphrases yourself and check the strength of it. Okay, and one more way, if you really want to check the strength of your password, ask ChatGPT, right. You can ask ChatGPT, you can give it a password and you can ask it, please let me know how strong my password is, right. Now, for those of you who want to learn more about password cracking practically, I have a 10-day password cracking bootcamp. This is for everybody who wants to learn it practically. Okay, so I've put together, so it's a 10-day, it's not a 7-day. I just want to correct it here. There's a mistake here. I show you how it's practically done. We put the word list together, we do customized word listing, we figure out a way in which if you want to target a specific individual, there's a different methodology. You want to do it bulk, then there's a different methodology. So I'll show you all of the tools and how I practically use them and all of the systems that I have. Okay, this is a completely hands-on training, guys. You don't have to like think of it as just a theory, right. There's no theory in this. It's just everything is practical. Okay, it comes with pre-recorded videos which you can watch, right. You get lifetime access to these videos, plus you get chat support. Like, these videos are very very easy to follow, and they are like, everything is step by step, right. All you need is a laptop, PC, even a mobile phone works, but I would not prefer you to have a mobile phone, because the speed with which you can crack with a mobile phone is a little slower. Okay, this is slower because of the processing power, right. So if you guys are interested in this like 10-day boot camp, right, Here are also the bonuses that you will get access to all of my tools, right? These are not the tools that I mentioned. Of course, I have videos for all of the free tools like John the Ripper and all of this, but like there are a few private tools I use, that are not available or even on Kali Linux. Some of them are available on GitHub, but not most of them. Okay, so some of these are paid tools as well, so you get access to these tools. Okay, this is like worth probably like 3,000, 4,000 if you go and buy it yourself. Right? You also get access to my private community of hackers from all over the world. I have about 47 hackers as of now, right? All of them from different countries. So you will have a very good opportunity to network with all of these hackers. You will get cheat sheets, bonuses as a bonus material, right? You will also get access to some of the word lists I use, right? And also you will get like 2 live sessions where you can talk to me. We could set up a plan for you, and you also get lifetime access to recordings. Plus, when you have chat support, you can message me anytime you have doubts, and in case we are not able to solve your doubt, I can personally get on a call with you, right? All of this individually is at least worth 6 to 7 thousand rupees, right? And I am planning on selling this for like 4 to 5 thousand rupees in the next month. But for people who want early access to this, because I recently did the boot camp, right? I got a lot of demand. I want to give everybody access to this mini course for like 19 rupees, but that will only be for the first 15 people, right? The next 15 people will get access to 499, after which obviously I'm going to increase the price to 4 to 5k INR. Okay, so if you want access to this, there's a button below. You can click on the button below, right? The moment you click on the button below, you're going to go to a page that looks like this. Okay, um, you'll get sign in to unlock for 99, right? So what you can do is you can sign in, you can make the payment, right? And you will be automatically directed to a WhatsApp group, right, which is my private community, and you will get access to all of the material. So if you want access to this course, just make the payment, and if the price goes up from 99, it means the 15 spots are gone. If you see the price at 499, it means that okay, the last 15 spots for 499 left, right? And if you see it for like 4,000, that means even these 15 spots are gone, right? So that's it. So just go there, get access, and I'll see you on the other side.